decision for you.
They reject that person.
They reject that person. You have just introduced the person and then the parents they reject that person. Zina involve unapata umefikisha tu mtu, mzazi amesema hapana. Huyu hapana. Then from the word go, ametoka wapi? Hiyo nayo hapana.
There are those signs zenye wataona and they tell you, my son, by the way, huyu mse she's not the one. She's not the one.
Sasa, really. Imagine umepeleka msichana kwetu, alafu amemwona ndio hivyo anasema, hizi signs. Umemwona siku ya kwanza unaona signs. How now?
Being a youth is hard, especially when you do not know where or who to turn to.
For this reason, we bring you the Youth of Light show that highlights the challenges and the possible solutions.
So join us every Saturday at 5 p.m. on our YouTube channel, The Youth of Light.
Kindly subscribe, share, and comment.
And don't forget
to give us a thumbs up.
I trust you had a very, very, very blessed and fruitful week. This is yet another episode of The Youth of Light with me. I have 4 gentlemen, actually. I think I'm the only girl in the show. I hope watanichapa sana, because today's topic is close to our hearts. It's something that many people have gone through, have passed through. I really hope, I pray for God to give me the grace, because it's very personal. So on my further left, we have Chris. Hi, Chris.
Yes.
We missed you last week.
Yeah.
And you have Kome here.
Yes.
The man in blue. We have Pastor here.
Yes.
And we have Frank. So today our main focus is, do your parents or guardians have a say in your relationship? Do they, in the first place? So I will just ask them for a general opinion on each of them. Chris, does your parent have a say in your relationship?
Generally, no.
Yeah. Okay. Kome.
I don't think so.
Frank, before you go to a pastor.
I think they have some influence.
So it's a yes.
It's somehow yes.
It's a yes. So 2 no's and 1. Pastor, tell us, do parents really have a say when it comes to relationships and choosing a spouse for a boy or a girl?
Yes, thank you very much. I would say it's 100%. The choice belongs to the 2 of them. But as parents, we have a say. We have a say. We need every parent wants his child to have the best, and if and a parent can just it's not a say to choose for you, but it's a say to make some suggestions so that you may have the best in life. So he would guide you. He would say, I'm saying he have 100% say in your relationship, in your marriage. So because he desires his son or daughter to have the best man, the best lady that he may get in life.
So what I'm getting here is, yes, parents should have an opinion, but not a decision.
Yes.
Decision, but they should have an opinion.
Yes.
Okay. When is the right time, first of all, to introduce your better half to your parents? Let's start from Frank, from Chris.
Wow, that's a little bit tricky, because the parents should not make the decision for you on whom you should marry.
My question is,
yeah, you're talking about the best time.
Yes, the best time to introduce, to take your girlfriend to your parents.
Yeah, so if you meet this you better have whatever who you call that person.
Yeah.
You meet that person, you fall in love, and you know very well that this is the person that you need in life. Then I think you should take the initiative, to introduce that person to your parents.
Yeah.
To make them, so that they can be aware.
So there's no time frame.
If you are in love and you are very sure that this is the person you need, why not?
Okay, Kome, your opinion kindly.
Thank you. I think that there is no specified time, because different relationships takes different times. And also, I might be not at the point to introduce you to my parents, yet we are in a relationship. So maybe we can, at least, tunaweza tukasomana kidogo before I make that decision. I don't think naweza tu kupeleka, you're just my friend and we are in a relationship, and then now the next thing is to go to the parents. That rushing is not that okay.
Okay, Frank, these people say that there's no time frame. What about you? Do you think there's a time frame?
Basically, I don't think there is a real time.
Okay.
Because it is me who will weigh myself to tell my parents when I am ready. And I don't think I'll call them in a meeting to tell them that I am ready. I will act like a man so that they can see.
Okay.
How should I
Alright.
act? I will.
What do you mean you act like a man?
I'll act like a man if my parents see me with a lady. Obvious, they will learn something from me.
What if you're that's kind of a person that brings ladies? Today you have Njoki, tomorrow you have Wanjera, the other day you have Atieno. What if you're that kind of a person?
That is not maturity. Like I said, they will learn from me
Okay.
whether I am mature enough
All right.
to make my own decision. Then I will engage them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Rev, is there like a specific time frame whereby a guy is supposed to introduce the girlfriend to the parents?
Yes, I say. Even not the boy, even the girl. You see, once you are in relationship, it's up to you. You know what you have to. And you know there are dislikes and the likes in this lady, in this gentleman. So after you have weighed all of your opinions and you have made a decision, this is the right pattern that I need, because you have to have a time frame, because you cannot see a lady today, you are dating today, tomorrow you are taking her to your parents. You have to get a frame of time to learn each other, to know our dislikes, our likes, to know how he behaves when she is angry, how she behaves when she's loving. You need to know. You need to know her, so that after now you have learned her and you have been satisfied that she's the like that I need. Then there is no barrier. You can introduce her to your parents.
Okay. What if after introducing your better half to your parents, which are some of the signs that you will realize, by the way, my mom or my dad he or she's not for this lady? What are those some of the signs that you will learn or you will observe?
Wow. Some of the signs that you obviously see is continued disagreements. Continued disagreements. There is at a certain time that you may reach, you see that, no, my lady is not obeying my mom. Every time my mom gives a directive, they are not, she is not obeying. Definitely you will learn there is something not going well.
What if she is obeying? Because maybe basing my argument on some of the movies that we see, or even how things happen, because you see, a movie is an illusion of something that happens. Some of the things that happen, you find that a girl is actually doing her best to please the parent, but then the parent has already a prejudgment about her.
I don't think there is any way a parent can hate a lady out of nothing. Definitely, this lady will do something that does not please my parent, so that he or she may fail to have some trust in her.
Okay, just hold on that on that point.
You see, moderator, when I said that the parents has a say in the relationship, because you see, we are coming from different cultural backgrounds. Then there is a certain parent or household, they may dislike this tribe or the other, and by the looks, the way even the body language, the way they are talking to each other, you can see and depict that my mom is not in terms with this my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's why I asked Frank, what if there's already that prejudgment? Because we find that parents have reservations of some tribes, parents have reservations of some cultures. See? What do you have to say about that, Chris?
No, actually, that's why I said I don't think that parents should have an opinion on this issue. The reason being, I may choose the person I love, but maybe in her mind, my father or my dad, they had a different person in mind, And at the end of the day, this is not the person I love. But the person I love is not their person of choice. You see? So at the end of the day, there will be those disagreements you're talking about. My mom or my dad may not be, in terms with this lady I love, just because it was not their choice. See? They have not even investigated or just looked deep into the reason as to why I chose this person, or whether there is any problem with this person. They have just decided, no, this is not the person we wanted. We wanted a person of this character. We wanted a person from this class or standard or whatever. So, to me, I don't think it's all about the person. Sometimes it's about their mindset. What was their decision? What were their plans? What was in their minds before you made this decision?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Kome, what would you do if your parent had reservations of a certain tribe or a culture that your girlfriend or your spouse is from? What would you do?
I think that is where I base my argument when I say that the parents do not have the opinion, because this is something that leads to many of the marriages even breaking. You see that your wife is not in good terms with your mother or with your father, and then now you see they tend to collide in one way or the other. And then now if you are a foolish man, you just go to side with your mother. You get it? Because when you side with your mother, your wife will go away.
What if you side with your wife, your mother, or your parent? You know, there are some parents who actually threaten their kids. But if you get married to this lady or to this guy, you are on your own. We disown you.
Provided I pray to God. The other thing,
sasa ni sawa, hakuna shida.
Provided ni
Lakini
mimi
Biblia
na-
inasemaje? Utaacha mamako na babako,
Yeah.
mtabaki mkiwa wawili. So
exactly.
But again, it also says, obey your parents, your father and mother.
Sasa, hiyo ni tofauti ya
Because this is
kuobey.
the only... Rev, I beg to be
No,
corrected.
no. Hiyo tofauti ya
You are
kuobey.
right.
Hiyo
You are
si
right.
kuobey.
You are right. That's why I said
Hey.
we will not choose for you, but
Thank
we
you.
will give you some direction, because we need it, Chris. We need the best in life for you.
I know.
Because we will not tell you that we will not let you just to drop in the snare of the enemy when we are looking.
Sikatai,
My
but
friend
prepare
will
reason.
tell you, for example, I will tell you, it was in the media that Asian who was married in the Western Kenya. Then the parent disowned him. He had to come back. Yet to leave the marriage. You see, it is not about your choice. It is about the family issues. I want my son to have the best. I want my daughter to have the best. And when you are choosing, when he's bringing a gentleman to my house, then for a moment of time, I will see if he has the character, if he has the guts. I'll tell him, my daughter, you better choose.
But Rev, okay, at what time do you need to learn this guy, this girl? What time are you able to decide, by the way, this lady is not for you. My son, this lady apana is not for you. And then come on, angalia the newspapers or anything, you will see the stories that are there about this certain tribe or people, about this culture of people. Because if she's from, for instance, let's say, if she's from Central Kenya, then my son, you have to prepare your own coffin, because it said Kikuyus are going to do this for you.
No. I'm against that. What I'm saying here, I'm against that. It's not when it's not about the ethics. What we are talking about. I'm saying to learn somebody, it may take very little time. You see, as a parents, we have the dislikes of this family. We have the likes, and we see the way you are coming. The way you are expressing yourself, the way you are calculating your moves, the way you are mingling with us, the way you are answering some of these simple questions here. Then we can depict this gentleman.
Okay, Frank, what would you do? Okay, just a minute. Frank, what would you do about these signs that Trev is talking about?
Okay, like he said, I think children are a project to their parents.
Okay.
And just like a project, your parent wishes the best for you.
True.
Just as they would like to harvest from their project. Yes, I don't think you can bring, like, let's say, for example, Kome. There is no way, Kome, you can bring your lady to us as your parents, and we start choosing for you just instantly. How? I think we have to take time to learn from your lady, right? So from there, you will not ask us for a decision. You will ask from us advices. Yeah?
Frank,
We are not the ones who will make the decision. You will make it your own. Get this right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting.
So,
let me give Chris.
according to your question, about preservations, tribes, cultures, and whatever should not influence my parents to choose my lady.
Okay, let me give Chris a chance to
you
respond
see,
to that.
the issue was introducing your partner to the parents, and then the parents making the decision for you.
They reject that person.
They reject that person. You have just introduced the person, and then the parents, they reject that person. You know, that's why I was saying that the parents, most times you find that most of these scandals zina involve, unapata umefikisha tu mtu, mzazi amesema hapana, huyu hapana, then from the word go, ametoka wapi, hiyo nayo hapana. Unaona?
Okay. Answer to Rev, because Rev has said there are those signs zenye wataona, and they'll tell you, my son, by the way, huyu mse, she's not the one.
Sasa,
Really.
imagine nimepeleka msichana kwetu, alafu amemwona ndio hivyo anasema hizi signs. Umemwona siku ya kwanza unaona signs. How now? Kwanza nirudi kwa Kome. Unajua utaanza kuni advise leo who's the person I should choose in life. Naona? These are things that nikikuwa you have been telling me about these things. Unaelewa? So by the time na make decision nachagua mtu, nafaa kuwa I have things in mind zenye ulinifunza that I should, when it reaches that time, I should do this and this and this. Avoid this. You know, avoid this and this. Go for this and this. Sasa unangoja nikuje nikuchagua ndio kuja kuniambia ati sijui nini. When you are choosing that rusted person, it's because from before alikuambia rasta haimaanishi kitu. You know, you'll choose because according to advice venye amekulea ndivyo uta choose. I cannot niambia ndio kuja kuchoose at just the last minute. There's no way.
But for sure, Chris.
Aye.
How and where? How and where?
How what?
On earth did you hear parents watching at their child perish by making the wrong decisions? Definitely, if they see you perish, they will control you.
Okay, sikatai. Lakini hapa tunaongelea ku make decision. Wewe mwenyewe ukaenda ukaona mtu, mkapendana, ukamsoma ukaona yes, huyu mtu ako sawa, anastahili kupelekwa kwa wazazi wangu. Then ukifika huko unaambiwa huyo si mtu mwenye nafaa.
The Bible says whoever finds a good wife.
Thank you.
So whoever finds a good wife. Now we are talking about that good and the finding. You see, the methodology of finding is where the parents chip in. It's where they give you some guidelines. We are not choosing for you. But we are saying, son, when it reaches that time, you want to make a life commitment and you have to get your partner. Please look at this. The Bible says beauty is deceitful. Don't look at the beauty. It's deceitful. My friend, look about this character. It will be well with you. That is guidance. We are not choosing for you. So that when it reaches that time, when you are bringing that chick at home, you know, my mom said, my dad said, I think they will like him. And then when you are coming home with your chick, you see what? Then you are also observant what your mom and your dad is saying. What their looks, their taste.
Okay,
you
Pastor,
cannot just assume.
So you need a sample of 10 so that the person can choose for you one.
And after all, having said that, when you change your mind because we have advised you, it is not us who have meant the decision on your behalf.
Frank, just
it
a
is
moment.
you.
Frank,
So that's sampling.
Before that point, Pastor, according to what you've said, does it mean that parents at times do not trust the decisions that these young boys and girls make?
It's not about trusting. You are giving a direction. A direction you may obey or disobey. You see, once I've told you, my friend, this is the right way. If you go this way, you are safe. And then you disobey. You say, this man, I don't know if he's... Then you choose. I will not come between you and your wife. I will not separate you. You made the decision. But the Bible says, a man shall leave the parents, mom and dad, and be joined with your wife. Then you become one flesh. You see now, we parents, the only part we can play is giving you some direction. If you are choosing, my daughter, try to make some decision. Try to look at these characters, 1, 2, 3. But we will not command you do this.
Okay. My next question is, what if your son or your daughter has gone forward and stuck to that guy or that lady that you've warned him or her against? And then you take the initiative of calling parents of the other parents, not the parents-in-law, the other parents of that. Are you in a position to do that? Is it even right for parents to do that?
It's wrong. It's wrong because love is in between two. Love is in between two. And then you take the initiative of calling parents of the other parents of that. Are you in a position to do that? Is it even right for parents to do that?
Okay.
It's wrong. It's wrong because love is in between two. Love is in between two. They have loved each other. I have given direction, and maybe in one way or the other, he has made the decision. Me as a parent, I should respect that decision, first of all. And then the Bible says now, out of that, there is what you call the parental blessings. Now, if I am against it, I don't think the relationship can go far. Secondly, I'm not in a position to make the final decision, calling the other side or parents, come here. I don't want my son to be with your daughter. Please take away your daughter. I think that is wrong.
Okay.
We should give our youth the time to make a decision. And if they've made their decision, even if it is wrong, we can still calm down. And even the two parties, even if we are coming together, let us give them a space to make their ways better. And I think we'll be helping this guy. This is more the little family. We will be helping them.
All right.
So,
okay, just one question before we go for break. This wasn't there. Okay, no, Sisi, what we have men here. At what point do you step in as a man when you realize your mom and your spouse are ever in conflicts? At what time do you step in? Chris?
okay. Step in like,
You make a stand and try and solve that conflict that is there, that is pre-existing between your mom and this new daughter-in-law to
from the word go. Mbona ukumbali ianze? Why should you agree for this disagreement to start? Kwa nini? Unangoja nini?
All right. Okay. Frank?
Guys, I think we are too much on our mothers than
No. Okay.
Just respond to that.
Does it only happen with our mothers?
Just respond to that. Just respond to
Huh?
that.
And don't we have contradictions with our fathers? And
Okay,
our-
Very
our-
rare, very
okay.
rare
It's
cases, I
parents.
guess. Very
Very
rare cases of
parents.
father-in-law.
Yes. Let us say our parents. If there is conflict between my spouse and my parent, I think I should act instantly. Immediately. Because you don't have to give it time so that it may erupt. Ndio uingilie uanze kusema, why are you? No. You should step in immediately after you notice something is not going wrong. You should not give it time.
Okay. Rev will allow you to respond after this short break. But coming up shortly, we have a guest, a very pretty young lady. She will be telling us a little bit of her story. So stay tuned and remember to like, comment, share, and give us a thumbs up.
Youth of Light, shining light to the youth.
Everyone, welcome. Thank you very much for staying tuned to our show. Remember, if you haven't liked or subscribed, remember to do that. Also, your comments keep us going, so remember to comment and tell us which topics you'd like us to discuss or which guest you'd like to see on the show. And talking about guests, we have our very own Esther. Esther, welcome to the show. Karibu sana, feel at home. No handshakes today, Corona times. So, just a question before we give Reverend the chance to answer a question that we had asked him earlier on. Do you think a parent has a say in a relationship?
Yes, I do.
Okay, hold on. Pastor, what if you have conflicts in a relationship? In a relationship between a mom and a daughter-in-law to be?
If you have conflicts, they should be settled the earliest or discussed the earliest in the relationship. You see, there is always that we teach our youth. We tell them it's better a broken engagement than a broken marriage. If there is some disagreement, please try to address the issues. It could be on the side of the girl, the side of the boy. The boys try to discuss and settle these issues. If the mother-in-law has some reservations, some issues, try to discuss. Don't ignore, because ignorance is the worst enemy, that is the worst weapon that the enemy can use on this relationship.
Okay. All right. Esther, let me put you on the limelight, kidogo. You've said a parent has a say in a relationship. Kindly tell us how and why and where and how.
Okay,
The 5 W's and H. Remember to include that. Tell us.
sure. Okay, so on my take, I think the parents, they have a say towards our opinions on who we are choosing to marry and who we are choosing to settle with. First of all, it really does not just start on the onset of when the guy decides that this is the lady that I'm taking home, but it starts at at a very young age. Remember, we have families and we have different cultural backgrounds, and we also have different ways in which all of us have been brought up as youths. So even before you get to that point that as a man I need to date this lady, I want to marry this lady, you already have a certain mindset that was put into you from the very young age. That is what probably we can refer as the construction or the process of socialization. When we are young, we have been socialized in a certain dimension, in such a way that this way that we have been socialized, it will incline us towards making some decisions. And so in that aspect, you find that even before you say that, what will my parents say? They already say that before. By bringing you up as a man and by bringing you up as a lady, they already instilled that decision. Or rather, they already instilled something that is going to influence your decision making in future. And so it really depends. Sometimes you find that, okay, if we say, what opinion do parents have towards our settling down? Okay, what about those who don't have parents? What about those who don't have guardians? And what about those who are not in stable families? Remember, there are those people who are brought up in very stable families. You can sit down with your mother, you can laugh loudly, you can discuss things in and out, you can dig one another. And on the other side of the table, you also have these other families where you even don't talk to your parents. But there is that thing that you have grown knowing that this is what I've seen in my family.
Okay,
This is what we are used to.
Let me just cut you short a little bit. Despite one not being in a stable family or
Okay.
not being in a position to have a guardian or a parent, we are maybe putting in a consideration whereby there's that person that you will take. At the end of the day, there's that person who is responsible for you. Let's just say that. Be someone who has helped you grow. At Kama, it's maybe people, we have had people growing in children's home, right?
Yeah.
We've had people growing. Maybe that person who is responsible for you, it can also be an elder person, an elder sister or an elder brother. What if it reaches a point whereby you want to introduce your spouse and then they reject?
Okay, it will really depend, because I really don't understand why maybe I've stayed with you for a very long time. And then you see, there is this thing, probably we are not getting it right. Once the parents have had us as their children, and even that person who has fully accepted to take care of us as our guardians, they know that at some point this person will need to go out. At some point, this person will need to settle down. So I don't think, and sometimes I really wonder where these conflicts get. Why do we end up maybe somebody saying, oh, I don't want you to have this lady, I don't want you to marry this person, of which, yes, maybe it could be attributed to our cultural differences. Maybe the parent wants you to get somebody maybe from the Western region, and then you go to the coastal regions.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see, moderator, we are coming back. You see, when Isaac was of age, Abraham said to the gentleman who was working there, said, "Go to my countrymen, get my son a wife. Get my son a wife, not within the locality here, because you know the behavior, the tabia, the belief that they have. You see, we are divided not only on social, cultural, also beliefs. So Abraham said, go there, bring my son a wife."
But you know, this is not that time, right?
There is nothing different between today and yesterday. The Bible says there is nothing new. Oh, what is coming is just a recurrent of events. I'm telling you something, Chris. For today, the Bible says, do not be yoked together with an unbeliever.
Yes.
That is the same thing that Abraham was saying. That is the same that we are telling you. You are in the church. You are youth, young man. You have Christian values in you. Do not be hooked with a sinner. There is no relationship. There is no fellowship.
Thank you. So our parents, now instead of taking you call that the hard man or whatever, instead of sending somebody, they send us and tell us, go out there, learn, get yourself somebody, then come. You see, that's the difference. Those times they used to send somebody to go. In our times, si ati wanatuma mtu aende, wanatuambia sisi, wewe enda utafute, ukuje.
They trust you enough to do that, right?
Yes, they trust you enough. And I think, thank you very much, Brother, for supporting me. I said, parents
Chris?
do not, parents do not decide, but they guide you on making the decision prior to choosing the person.
Okay.
And
But
thank you very
But
much.
initially
at
you
the
said
same
at all. They should not get involved.
He's changing
Involved
the
in.
stand.
You are
But at the same
changing your-
time-
I'm not changing my stand. I'm not changing my stand. Remember, we asked, do the parents, do they? That
Do
was
they
our
have a
question.
say?
Baby.
Have a say.
Have a
They
say.
have a say.
Have a say. Thank you.
But you said no.
And then, no, look here. Then she asked about, when you get this person and take that person to your parents, then they reject her. You see, do they have a say in that? You know, our argument is on that. So, then we can that parents, when you are growing up, they advise you. You know, when you are growing up, parents advise you. They tell you on the kind of characters, the kind of discipline, everything. So that by the time you are making the decision, you already know what kind of a person you are looking for.
Okay. Just a general question here. What if parents start throwing threats? It's either you marry that person and you forget about us, or you forget about that person and we remain as your parents. What if they start throwing in Chris? What if they start throwing in threats? What happens? What happens at that point?
Okay. So if the parents are threatening me to marry a certain person, or I forget about them,
Yeah, they're making you choose between them and the other spouse and the spouse.
so which means they still need me, right? Which means they need me, right? So if they need me, then I have to make them understand that I'm also important to them. Because by doing that, you'll be able to solve the two, to bring together the two parties. You have to also to make them understand that they need you. Unless they don't want you, unless they don't need you in their life.
Okay.
Yes.
Esther,
As simple as that.
Esther, I'm sure you've come across such cases. What should a person do?
Concerning such cases, I've come across some. But what I would advise is that first of all, as a man, because everything revolves around the man. The steps you make, the decisions you make, and everything, how you handle the woman and how you handle your parents. You are the center of everything that will happen after that. So my take would be, first of all, assess the situation as a man. You can first of all go to your parents, talk to them, even before taking the lady to your parents. You talk to your parents, you tell them, okay, I have this lady in place. I have this person whom I am aspiring probably to settle down with. What is your take? And then after you have heard your parents, what they have to say, probably you can now readjust. And that is maybe the precautionary measure that you can take. Instead of, first of all, hitting the ball maybe from the other end. You take your girl first, you face every challenge that you are supposed to face. So instead of that, and you can probably have the lady getting hurt. And the lady can be like, even your parents never liked me, your people even never embraced me, so I'm not in for all this. But if she's mature enough, probably she can understand. But to prevent such instances, because you can find that if such a case occurs, there could be a future thing of the same occurring. Once maybe you get into conflicts with your lady, she will be like, even your people never liked me from the time you took me to your home. So if you are almost maybe guessing that there could be a possibility of conflict, first of all, try to face your parents as a man and tell them, okay, guys, I have this person. and I'm aspiring to bring her home. She's like this and that and that. Explain to them. Then get to hear what they have to say. And after you have heard what they have to say, then reorganize yourself as a man. Because that is your house and that is your future. Reorganize yourself and face the lady. Tell her, okay, this is it. You cannot have to probably check your parents' ideas and put into the lady. Just adjust as a man. If it's about praying, I've heard somebody talking about prayers. Sometimes even prayers don't work because even God himself said, you take action, take the step, and then in between those steps, I will come in.
Okay. Rev, what do you have to say about that?
I would come in and talk to my fellow parents. It is always good to give a chance and allow our children to make a decision, because we may miss the mark or spoil the child because we want to choose the partner for him because of social class, because of family relationships. It would not work, because you see, everybody and every child has to have what you call a space of play. Because if you remember the case of Mary and Joseph, the angel was not sent to the parents of Mary, nor Joseph. The angel was sent directly to Joseph and Mary. He talked to Mary, do not leave your wife. He is in such a situation because the baby is carrying is out of product of Holy Spirit. Neither parents would see talk to him. So please, when you are handling the lives of our children, let us not put threat, because you see, if my daughter is getting to marry to that family, a lot of dowry will come. Pesa itakuja, manyumba itakuja. Not that way. Let them give space so that they may exercise their right. What we have the right is just to give direction. But because when we give direction as a parent, it doesn't mean that because our times was analog and you are in digital world, that atuoni atujui huyu mzae ajui nini. When Samson was told by his parents, please do not marry these Philistines, akaendelea akadharau wasasi. What happened? The anointing, the glory of God that was upon him iliisha, mwisho akatobolewa macho. So let us be careful. We tell you as a parents, please search for a godly person, somebody with this attitude, characters. When you are finding, because the Bible says, whoever find those characters, and God will bless you in your family and in your latter life.
Okay. And Pastor, you've brought in a very interesting topic about children. What if we have children involved between this guy and this lady? What if maybe the lady is expectant? What happens? And then we have that aspect of rejection already from the parents. And there is already a kid involved. A kid is growing.
But you see, from the word go, when we started the discussion, and my sisters just repeated the point we said, as we grow up, some of these characters we are looking for a wife. The parents, your parents are still teaching you. I want you to marry from this tribe. I want you to be like this one. Look, a wife like this one. And before now the pregnancy comes, I believe those characters, those hiyo tabia, hiyo mwenendo, hiyo sura ambao ulikuwa natafuta umeipata kwa huyu msichana. So kama umeipata na umepata mimba, it is now you have no otherwise. No, hakuna kurudi nyuma, shikilia ni wako.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Chris? What if there's a kid here, a kid is coming and mama has said, no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this, girl, by the way. We're not.
Wow. That's when now I say that a decision or the advice that was supposed to give me might be a little bit late. Because at the end of the day, there is an innocent, there is another innocent offspring coming up, an innocent one. So if I made the mistake as a man, then I'll have to take the responsibility. If it's a lady who made the mistake, she'll have to take the responsibility. At the end of the day, just know how you work your things, but that innocent offspring, that changes everything.
All right.
You like it or not?
Okay. Esther?
I second him about the innocent offspring, but about the issue of making mistakes. If you are a lady, you handle your mistakes, and if you are the man, you handle your mistakes. I am in contrast to that.
Wow.
If there is a child involved, first of all, remember this child is innocent. He or she may not know what repercussions probably drove you towards that, or rather, what really made you end up having that kid. And probably you never know the future that is ahead of you. You are probably not destined together with this lady. So, what would you just move forward and then end up probably rupturing things in future? I would just say probably in such a case, forgetting about the parent whether they are in or not. First of all, you have to know that there is a kid involved, and you have to take responsibility, both of you, regardless of whether you will be together or whether you will be far apart from each other. That's my take.
Okay, Frank?
In a case, she's pregnant, and my parents are against her. Do you mean that?
Yes.
There is a point or a zone we call a no-return point or zone. Definitely, if it was set going, marriage is not a matatu, such that you can get to a matatu and be dropped at a certain stage, you take another one. No. Once you get into marriage, everything is done. Hakuna ati utabadilisha kitu chochote. Now we are expecting a child. Then my parents comes in and tells me that this is not the right person for you. Then what do you want me to do? I have nothing to do, just to please you. What will you do? We will settle with her the way she is and change whatever she can change.
Okay.
Definitely, there is nothing you can do about that.
All right.
Yeah.
What if in an instance, because we've seen cases whereby the boy, the gentleman rather, takes the side of the parents and decides to drop, maybe whether the girl is expectant or the girl is not expectant, and ends up living with someone he does not love. What are the consequences of having a relationship with someone you don't feel in order to please your parents or your guardians or someone who is taking care of you? What are these consequences that erupt?
I would call that stupidity of the highest order. Surely.
It happens.
How can you make a mistake that will affect you in the entire life to please your parents? You have your own life to live. They have their own lives. They have their own families. You have your own family that you should make and live with. So, saying that my parents are not interested in my spouse, or whoever I am intending to marry, saying that my parents are not interested in my spouse doesn't make me, or rather they are interested in my spouse and I'm not interested. No, I should not say it because of that circumstance. Like I said, circumstances can't keep you, can't do anything successful.
Okay.
If you fall into circumstances, you will die in the circumstance and it will affect you.
All right.
Yeah.
Chris?
Or consequence of living the post
Relationship. Yeah.
Leaving
the person that you love in order to please your parents and settle in with the person that your parent describes as the perfect.
premature death.
Sorry? All right.
Seriously.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
because you are trying to dig your own grave.
Okay,
Exactly.
Depression and rejection
So
and stuff.
that's premature death.
Okay.
Thank you.
Esther, you have the same feel as Chris?
I can't talk about death.
It's death.
But okay, when living with somebody you don't love, first of all, you are like copying what your parents are trying to tell you. You are just copy pasting their minds, and you know life is so difficult in such a way that I can give you a chance to advise me, but remember, I've not asked you to give me your mind so that I can use.
Nice. Okay.
I've asked my parents probably to give me their opinion, but remember, they are not going to give me their minds so that I can use to drive the marriage. It's just like how we have gone maybe to colleges, to universities, and then we have had our parents saying, you go and pursue engineering, you go and pursue medicine. And then you reach there, manze kinaumana, inaumana, unaenda unaingia hospitality, ama unaingia ualimu. And that's it. It's just like settling down with somebody you don't love. This somebody who is loved by your parents. And your parents had a chance to love themselves. Your father had a chance to love his wife, who is your mother. And now it's your turn to love somebody. And now you are here, you are in a house with somebody you don't love. That, first of all, is an implication, is a terrible implication to your kids. And this is whereby we get ourselves maybe seeing families whereby kids are in the side of their mother. There was a clip that was hovering around that we have the father and the mother, and then we have two kids in between, and then they are told,
Run.
mom and dad run to the opposite direction.
Yes.
And then we see all the kids running after their mother. So that is one implication. Your children will probably have the worst life ever because they will not grow up seeing the happiness that a family should nurture. They will grow up knowing that marriage is just something useless. They will not probably be nurtured in that love, in that ordained love from God. That is one thing, the implications to the children. The other thing is that you guys will just have no future. Probably the project and everything, you don't have anything that connects both of you. And in marriage, you find that if you fall out of what connected you initially, and that's what we are seeing in today's marriages. You find youths, we get married, probably because of money, and then after 2 years, all this money inapotea tu, hiyo mapenzi imeisha hivyo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Pastor?
I think I would not advise for a forced marriage. Siwezi kuunga mkono mali ambao baba na wanalazimisha mtoto aoe ule ambao wanataka because of social class, because of any political alignment, because of any social alignment. I will not support that. Don't. It is not the better way for choosing the partners for our children. It never worked. It has never worked. And because everybody has a feeling, because they have the feeling, they have the emotion. If it doesn't work, you know, it is like slavery. You are putting them, your son or your daughter, to slavery. It won't work. Please, I would advocate that we allow the young men to make their decision freely after the guidance. I think it would be the way, the better way.
Okay. Then I'll give you, each of you, a minute of your parting short points on this topic. Let's start from Frank.
What I would like to say is that parents, I give you the authority to advise your children on whoever they are marrying, but kindly don't make the final decision, because these two will live, but you have your other family to take care of. Give him or her chance to make his or her decision, and everything will run smoothly. Thank you.
Okay. Chris?
Yeah, the issue of marriage, it's a really delicate issue. I can talk about that. I can say it's kind of delicate. And nowadays, it's the source of most of the problems we have. Choosing the partner, I think the heart, the agreement between the two, the love between the two should be the determining factor, other than the issue of, the social class and everything. Because if these two people decide to live together, they love each other, then it means they'll be there for one another, no matter what. And to avoid these issues of, polygamy and the issue of, cheating in relationship or in marriages, I think they should go for the people that they love. And for the side of the parents, it's good to advise the youth and the growing generation on what are the pros and cons when it comes to marriages. But don't be the problem at the end of the day. Don't be the person to choose for that person, the kind of person you want that person to marry. Because at the end of the day, you may be experienced enough, but at the end of the day, maybe we know the kind of generation we are living today. Because I know you more and better than how my parent knows you today.
Okay.
Yo.
Esther?
When Isaac was looking for a wife, and this servant had been sent to Rebekah's home, when they arrived in their home, the Bible tells us that the fathers to Rebekah called the girl, and they asked her, "Will you go with these people?" And Rebekah said, "Yes, I will." Rebekah was the final decision. The parent just placed her in a position whereby she could make the final decision. If she was to say, "No, I'm not going," then she was to remain. So I can say, and I can tell any youth out there, that it's arrogance not to listen to an advice. But it's not arrogance not using the advice to make your final decision. Thank you.
Okay. Pastor?
I would say, let us give our children handfaces direction, and they make their lifetime partners. And let us not take the spirit of Laban in ourselves. You see, Jacob labored for 7 years for his dear wife. The day of wedding, now Jacob realizes this is not the one I was looking for. That is not good. Let us just allow our youth people to bring home they have the heart of, home they love, they have the feeling, they share emotion together, and they pray to them and give them the counseling, because I believe in doing that they will bring up a very good and healthy family.
All right. Thank you very much for taking your time to watch. You've listened to the advices. Whatever is going to help you, let it help you. We meet again next weekend with our hosts. Josiah will be here with you guys. So let us meet then. Remember, in the meantime, you can like, share, subscribe, and comment, and tell us which guest you'd like to see on the show. Thank you very much. Take care of yourself.
Youth of Light, shining light to the youth.